I'm high pace with a high rise taste.
Addicted to the vapors of paper.
Embark in the darkest sins in the hearts of men. Every rapper that rap ain't celebrity.
I'm high pace
Hey
with a
guys,
high
you're
rise
tuned in to Two Cynics in a Pod. I'm one of your hosts. My name is Gotham Green.
And I am Martin Arsenault.
What's up, Mar? What's going on, brother?
Welcome, Gotham Green. How are you this week?
Doing good, brother. A lot of stuff to talk about. A bunch more celebrities, just fame mongering, for lack of a better word, and putting their stuff out there with really nothing to put out there. So, as the things change, the more things change, the more they stay the same, I suppose, is what people say.
I gotta ask you, how did you get into the celebrity gossip? Like, I know you've always kind of kept up with it, but your girl's into it too, right?
She's into it. I mean, look, I've always kind of been on the pop culture thing. I mean, I guess, I don't know, growing up in New York, maybe, you're kind of just force-fed that. It's like kind of growing up in LA. A lot of the stuff here is just circles around entertainment, but also, like, I'm basically GMZ, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm always on the I'm always looking at the website. Because this shit, it's fascinating, and it's funny, and it's disgusting to me, right? So it's like, it's a car crash. You don't want to look, but once you peek it, you can't look away, you know what I mean? And so I'm fully enthralled in the nonsense of Hollywood.
Well, we'll get to all that in a second here, because you sent me a bunch of topics this week also. But first, let's kind of pick up from where we left off last week, and I think we left off with talking about you are getting married soon.
I am getting married soon, man. I think I'm like something like 13 weeks away from the wedding date, 13 weeks in a day, because whatever it may be. But yeah, June, man, I'm getting married in June. Super excited. A lot of people thought this may never happen. Some people maybe thought it would
included.
happen. Yeah, some people maybe thought it would happen 20 years ago, but here
Who,
we
your
are.
family?
As a kid. Well, no, man, like as a kid, like, my parents got married relatively late in life, and so as a kid, I kind of always had, and when I say kid, I mean like young, like 12, 13, that kind of age where you don't know anything. But I always had like the vision of, by the time I'm like mid-20s, I'll be married. And by the time I'm like early 30s, I'll have had, 2 or 3 kids by then. That shit came and went like a dust ball. So I surpassed the 30s by a long shot, and here we are. But, it's funny, man, because now that I am with this specific lady, I do realize that everything has its time, and I do feel like maybe if I had taken the plunge earlier, it probably wouldn't have worked out. And that's not any disrespect to any of my past relationships or whatever. I think that's wholeheartedly about me. I mean, obviously my history of things, and we were running around having fun. And so I wasn't in the mind frame to settle down, even though kind of like in my heart, I thought that would happen at that early age. So no, man, here I am. I'm 42 years old, and I'm about to get married for the first and only time.
Well, I'm excited too, because I'm coming to New York for the wedding, and it's also my first time to even go to an Indian wedding, and I guess I'm like kind of in the wedding also, so that's really exciting for me. And I just had a couple questions for you, and just for people that aren't familiar about Indian weddings. And is it more specifically like a Hindu wedding, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yeah.
sir,
So that was my first question, if it's a Hindu marriage. So that's really cool. Could you tell me a little more about like Hindu traditions and like kind of how the wedding's gonna go? Just because I'm interested too.
I won't get into like any of like the specific details, because again, like it's stuff that's even above my head in terms of like the historical religious aspects of it. But yeah, the general parts of it are Indian weddings are not just a one-day affair. They do last like a minimum of 3 days. And so ours is basically 3 days. And then, her side, they're a little bit more religious, spiritual, traditional than maybe my parents or my side. And so they have a couple extra things that they're going to do just her side. And that stuff doesn't even count towards the 3 days. But basically, the first thing that I have to go through is basically a cleansing ritual, which they basically take this thing in Hindi, it's called haldi, but it's basically a turmeric mix. And
that's going to take a couple days for you.
Yeah. For facts. I should start now. No, but they mix this like so whatever, like this paste, and my entire family is supposed to like rub it like on me or whatever, and that cleanses or clarifies me to be able to kind of get married. Without going into like the specifics of it, but that's the first official event that's happening for me, and that'll be happening Thursday. At the same time, she does like a henna ceremony where she has to get her henna done. In Hindi, it's called mehndi. But she does that. That's only her side, the ladies on her side, and like my mom and some of my like aunts. That's Thursday. Friday, the real celebrations or, events start. And so the thing kicks off with, like in Catholic or Christian weddings, they do like a rehearsal dinner the night before. So we do what's called a sangeet, which is basically just a celebration of the couple. And it's where like the family does dances, speeches, performances, all that kind of stuff. And that's Friday night. That's only for a few hours. Her family, again, with their beliefs and everything like that, they do that as a dry event. So like my family, we drink at any event. So for that, there'll be no drinking, which is fine because the wedding is the next morning at 9 o'clock. The wedding starts. The actual wedding procession begins. And that begins with what's called the barat. That is the going of the groom's party arriving to the actual wedding venue where the bride's family actually welcomes him and all that stuff. And then there's like a bunch of pageantry that happens there. But basically, I will be arriving around 8:30, getting ready. I will be getting on a horse, an actual horse, and there will be music playing, and my entire family dances from basically the back of a parking lot to the front doors of this venue where my entire family meets her entire family. That she's not there. She's actually not allowed to be part of any of that procession. She's like locked away in a room, basically in this venue where she's not even allowed to look. And my girl's hilarious. She's not happy about it. And she's like, I want to watch it. I was like, yo, if you want, I could FaceTime you the whole time on it, but I will not be doing that. So when she hears this, I hope she realizes I will not be doing that. But I'll tell somebody in my family to do it. Like one of my cousins
at least
will do
take
it for
video
her.
or something.
Yeah. Oh, no. So we have videographer and all that stuff. Like there will be extensive videos of this
amazing. Awesome.
This whole weekend. Yeah. Photographers, videographers, dude, it's wild. Like there's a DJ for that. Like we literally have a DJ with a van that has speakers attached to it, and so that he can blast this music out while I'm while the horse is riding me, but my family's dancing up front.
The horse is going to be riding you?
No, I ride the horse. Is that what I said? Jesus Christ. Freudian slip. That's hilarious.
I'm envious, man. I grew up riding horses. I haven't ridden a horse in a good minute.
Yeah, well, however long
I haven't fucked with horses since Christopher.
That thing is never going to die. That Nicki Minaj thing is going to be for us for the rest of our life. By the way, for those of you who don't really know Martin and I, this is how we are. So we still will say like an obscure line from like 2010 that nobody else understands, but it lives in our head rent free, and we still laugh. We still laugh about it. Like real quick, and we'll get back into the wedding thing, but like real quick, and we'll get into this story later on. But all I have to say to Mart is, remember when we rode into the McDonald's parking lot and the ketchup, and me and him could laugh for about a half hour. Nobody has to understand what I'm talking about. Later on down the road of this podcast, you'll all understand. But basically, we walked.
That's
long
a
story
story
short,
for another time. But
long story short,
we'll get into it. Maybe we'll do a
we'll do
whole pod just about tour stories.
No, we definitely will. Oh, yeah. No, there'll be more than one pod about it. But so anyways, getting back to the wedding. So then I ride up in the horse, and then the wedding ceremony actually starts. The wedding ceremony, I mean, the most famous part of the wedding ceremony that most people know is that Hindu couples, they walk around a fire. So there's actually going to be an open fire on the altar or whatever. It's called a mandap. And there's a bunch of religious sayings that happen. And, again, similar to a Catholic Christian wedding, like the priest, we have a pundit. He goes through all of his stuff, and then, we walk around a fire, we do some religious, like, traditional stuff, and then boom, that is the extent of basically the wedding ceremony. Then for us, again, everybody's different. Some people, especially Hindu weddings, a lot of times they'll do the wedding on one day, and then the reception will be the next day. We wanted to do everything in one day, so our wedding ceremony will end, and then everybody will have a couple hours to kind of go chill or change or whatever they want to do. And then our wedding reception will start in the evening on that same Saturday. And that is just a regular American style reception, with tons of alcohol and suits and, dresses and everything. Because that's the one big thing where everybody's like, what's the dress code? Like, do I have to wear Indian clothes, this, that? And so, no, the reception, I'm wearing a regular suit. My girl's wearing like a regular gown and all that stuff. And so, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of religious aspects to it. I mean, obviously Hinduism is a very deep religion and it's been around a long time. So there's very much religious things and traditional things and spiritual things that go into it, praying to separate gods and things like that. But I'll be very candid with you, man. I understand, or I'm knowledgeable about maybe like 10 to 15% of the whole thing. And I know a lot about it. That's not to say that I'm a dummy. That's to say that there is a lot that goes into it.
Yeah.
Also, I'm a dummy, but that's not what I was trying to say.
Yeah, I'm
So,
really
yeah, man,
I'm
that's
really
coming.
excited about it. Like, just not just because it's my first like Indian wedding, but also like I've partied with your family before and I've had some amazing times with your family. I mean, we spent a week in Vegas together. And that
Yes,
was
sir.
an amazing time. Like, it was a crazy time.
You've come to Dallas too, right? To some family stuff, or am I mistaken?
No, I've never been to Dallas for family stuff. No, but I mean,
Got
like,
it.
other people don't know,
But
but we kind of met indirectly through your cousin Neil when he had a record label in Austin called ATX Records through our friend Verdon, who's
Yeah.
also still in Austin, but like just that connection alone, like I've had a lot of great times with Neil too, and yeah, your family's just a lot of fun. So I'm really excited about partying with your family again because I haven't seen a lot of them in years and years.
Yeah, it's been a long time. That's a fact, dude. And I mean, look, they're all excited to party with you as well. And I mean, my brother is super stoked to have you and everything like that. I mean, yeah, you're not. I don't know I don't know the exact words you just used. I think you said you're kind of in the wedding. You're not kind of in the wedding. You're absolutely in the wedding. You're one of my main groomsmen. I
didn't
got
know
two white
my
groomsmen.
specific position, so I didn't want to jump the gun and be like, I'm in the wedding,
No. You're definitely in the wedding. I was, you know what I mean? Like, it is what it is. Like, I was deciding on what we were going to do. And I mean, there wasn't even a decision with you. You're obviously, I mean, you've been one of my closest friends for over 20 years. So it wasn't even a question. And so, yeah, I got two white guys in my bridal party, and I got my brother and her two brothers. So I got a total of 5. And it's going to be great, man. I mean, she's got her cousins that that are going to be her bridesmaids, her sister-in-law as well, and her brother's girlfriend. And so, it's going to be a fun party. And I mean, look, Saturday night, we are going to be wilding out. I mean, I have uncles that are in their 70s that can outdrink college kids now. So it's going to be a fun time.
I love it. It sounds like a Southern Catholic wedding.
1,000%, dude. 1,000%. Yeah, so it's going to be an
Your
exciting...
family,
and again,
man, I don't know if they're like they used to be. I mean, when was that in Vegas? Was that 2009? It was New Year's one year.
Ooh, yeah. You talking about when you did Rio?
Yeah,
roof?
because I used to have the weekly at Rio, or the monthly up at Rio at Voodoo at the club and the roof, and we all partied that night, New Year's. But we were there for a week.
I think that was I know it was too long. I think
it was
that
too long. It made me be like, you know what, Vegas, 2 days max.
Nah, you could do like 3. You could do like 3 and maybe like a half.
Oh man,
like 3 nights. I could do 3 nights
for
in
me,
Vegas.
really.
I don't want to get the hell out of there. No, but I think that was 08 going into 09, if I'm not mistaken. So you might be right.
I think you're right because I still had short hair.
Yeah, that's a fact. Well, that's funny because you said you haven't seen a lot of my family in years, and the one thing I was actually going to say back to you was, yeah, you haven't seen a lot of my family since you had shorter hair than me.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? But they're all excited. I mean, look, they all know. I mean, look, it's with social media these days, everybody follows everybody or friends with everybody on certain pages. So we all stay updated on everybody. So they all know what you're up to.
Yeah, I mean, I follow a lot of your cousins and
yeah,
see their
but
posts
it's different.
and stuff.
It's different in person, right? Like once you see each other in person, then it's almost like, yo, no time has passed at all. And we'll be back to making those same jokes that we were making in Vegas or same jokes that we were making on the road. That's a good thing about us. And yeah, my family is, I mean, look, they haven't changed. They're still wild. We've just gotten a little bit older, and they've been additions because other people have gotten married and we've brought, people into the family. Yeah. But everybody's still all about having a good time, and it's a summer wedding. And I'm the youngest of 2 on my mom's, my mom's kids. And so everybody's excited that, her baby's getting married. She's the only girl. She's got 5 brothers. So they're all excited for her. I mean, so it's an excitement fest going on. The only person that sometimes isn't excited is me. I'll be honest with you.
Why is that?
No, it is what it is, man. It's stressful. If anybody out there has planned a wedding, it can be stressful. And I mean, you got to be real solid in your relationship because no matter what, you're going to fight with your significant other. Like there's going to be arguments. There's going to be differences of opinion. There's going to be stressful moments. There's going to be answers that you need right now that you already know you're not going to get until later. But you need them now. And you can't do the, I don't even know what it is. Like, you can't cross your T until you put the line down. What other stupid way you want me to say it? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I need to come up with table assignments. I can't come up with table assignments until I have all my RSVPs.
Right.
So it's just like, there's so many things. And then it becomes a thing. Here's one thing I will say. I learned early on in this process. We got engaged in October. We're getting married in June. So it was a bit of a short engagement in terms of like what a typical engagement is. But I learned early on, dude, I no longer volunteer information. I will wait till I'm asked a question or an opinion before I give it because I know she's going to shoot it down anyway. So I'd rather her ask me and then shoot it down as opposed to me bringing something up and then she shoots it down. You know what I mean? It's like I just got to preserve my own peace for that. But the one thing I will say, too, is that she's a rock star, man. Like, her job is she works in operations. And so she is very organized. She is on the ball. She is spreadsheet queen. So without her, I probably would have planned a pizza party for my wedding. And so with her, I'm actually having a very elegant, beautiful wedding, and I'm excited about it. So I really was joking about not being excited. I am excited. But it is stressful, dude, at some points. But, we kind of band together, and she already kind of knows, like, she hey, look, if there's any issues or whatever, or if there's any confusion, just take the lead. Because, I also understand, man, like, as much as, I guess, through my life as a kid, every once in a while, maybe I thought about my wedding, but it wasn't a constant thought. It wasn't something I've been dreaming about since I was born. And most girls, and I don't want to generalize or stereotype, but I think most girls have had that experience where they've been dreaming about this day and this person and this event and their dress for their whole life since they were a little kid. And so from that perspective, you've had this vision forever. So let's execute this vision. Don't bring in an idiot who doesn't have a vision and now I'm going to throw off your vision. Allow me to just help and kind of alley-oop you to dunk down on your vision. And so that's what we've been doing, and it's been working, dude, and we're excited about it. Unfortunately, she's got a huge family and I got a huge family. So, comparatively to her, I have a large family and she's got an extremely big family. But so, the part of the hardest parts of it was kind of like the guest list and stuff like that, dude. It's just.
Yeah. And I mean, like, it sounds like way more, intense than, a traditional Gentile wedding or just an American wedding in general. It's just like way more involved. There's 3 days of planning. There's all these different ceremonies. Like you guys, like both of your families sound like very family oriented. Sounds like a huge guest list. Like it sounds like a lot. Like when I got married, it was like it was like very simple. It was like it's like the exact opposite of. No,
but yours was beautiful and it was perfect for what you wanted. You know what I mean? I was in that wedding. So that was a blast. I remember that wedding like it was yesterday. We had a really great time. But then it was a beautiful thing. I mean, we did it the way we did it the way it was supposed to be done. You know what I mean? It was beautiful. It was outside. It was on the fly. We looked great. Somebody will post a picture of you and I from your wedding on the two Cynics In A Pod Instagram page just so that people can kind of see how good we looked that day. It's funny, man, because I'm so used to just always being in sweatpants and like sneakers and a hoodie that anytime somebody gets a chance to see us cleaned up, they're like, wow, you clean up nice. And like, I don't know if I should be insulted when they say that because I'm like, yeah, I mean, I'm kind of cute regardless, but it also feels good because it's like, yeah, I guess, we do clean up well.
Yeah, same. I'm like, yeah, long hair can look good in a suit, motherfucker. Like, leave me alone.
Oh, man, I forget who asked me. Somebody asked me, they're like, is Mark going to have a man bun at your wedding? I was like, do you know Mark? I was like, there's no way he's going to have a man bun.
I mean, is he gonna slick his hair down? If you want me to, no. I'll put it in a pony or something, but
I don't give a... That's not my thing, dude.
Ain't no way.
No. Dude, I want. Look, my thing is this.
If anyone
bro.
knows me, like I'm not gonna be rocking the man bun like ever.
No chance. No chance, dude. No chance. And our thing is this, bro. We want everybody to be as comfortable as they are in their own skin. Like I'm not trying to force anybody to wear anything they don't want. The only thing is I don't want people showing up to my wedding reception in jeans. But other than that, man, whatever makes you feel comfortable, you know, because on the invitation, it does say formal for the reception. And one of my homies was like, yo, does that mean I got to wear a tuxedo? I'm like, no, when? That's black tie. He's like, nah, man, formal, blah, blah. I'm like, dude, wear whatever you want. Like, you want to wear a tuxedo? Wear it. I don't mind. You want to look like James Bond?
Just don't come looking like a bum.
Yeah, that's it, dude. Just don't come looking like a bum. I mean, this is a wedding. So at the end of the day, have a minimum of something, but rock out with whatever you want, man. You're going to have a good time. I want everybody to be comfortable and everything. And I know my future wife does as well. So. And yo, dude, as much as my family you have fun with, wait till you meet her family, dude. Her family is also a bunch of fun partiers. They're mad cool. She's got family in the music industry. You know, her cousins do some stuff in music. She's got some female cousins that are phenomenal singers, so they'll do some performances on that Friday night stuff that I was telling you about. But you're also gonna get along with those guys tremendously as well, and so I'm looking forward to kind of blending that you with them as well. So it's gonna be a fun time, brother.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, let's go ahead and move on because you sent me a lot of stuff, and I want to try to get through this whole list today.
Sure.
So moving on to our pop culture segment, you have the Oscars listed here, which I didn't really pay much attention to. So yeah, let's get into that.
Yeah, I mean, look, again, I don't, you know, it's tough because like. That's something that I used to care about a lot more. And like, you know, I was bigger into movies and stuff. And I used to watch all these movies and I just don't anymore. I don't have the time. I don't have the desire. I do want to see that Anora movie that won Best Picture. But like, I don't have any desire to see like The Brutalist or any of that stuff. If I catch it on TV, great. If not, not. But the one good thing that one happy thing that I had that came out of this Oscars on whatever it was, last Sunday, the Sunday before that, whatever Oscar Sunday is that Ariana Grande won nothing. And I'm happy that she won nothing because she's already insufferable and I don't need this woman being an Oscar winner to just keep putting her in my face. I'm tired of her and her weird looking eyebrows. I don't understand how she looks like this. Why? And I'm not trying to look shame her at all. It's just weird to me. People can find her beautiful. You think she's beautiful? Great. That's great. She loves herself. That's great. I'm just saying, to me, it's weird. Also, we have a lot of people that knew Mac Miller. We were, 6 degrees of separation with Mac Miller, and we can get into that later on, but I kind of blame Ariana for that.
Yeah, I'd have to second that.
You know what I'm saying? So moving on from that part of it. But yeah, and again, like, it's funny because like months ago, my girl's like, do you want to go see Wicked? And I didn't even have to answer, dude. I just looked at her and she was like, okay, never mind. And I was like, I'm never watching Wicked. I do not care. The Cynthia Alviro lady also looks very weird. They were doing some crazy stuff during the promos. And so, yeah, the Oscars happened and nobody cared, or at least on my side.
Yeah, like traditionally the Oscars are like far more racist than the Emmys or the Grammys. And there's just like not a lot of people of color that get nominated or even win. I mean, the one big thing is No Other Land, the documentary on Israel's invasion of Gaza and the West Bank, or I think specifically the West Bank. I haven't seen it. Did win Best Documentary, but I was also reading, I mean, one of the reasons I probably haven't seen it is because they've throttled the distribution and it's just been shut down and it's hard to, see this movie. So, Israel is not, or America is not feeling the message of unity that this movie apparently brings to the table. But with also that being said, like, I guess there was one, the costume designer for Wicked, he was black and won Best Costume Designer or something. And so I guess that's a big win because it was the first black person to win that specific award. But that was
awesome.
it.
I didn't know that.
But that was it.
Shout out to that guy.
Yeah, and I'm like slipping on his name. I can't remember. I just was like doing a little research when you sent me the topics. But yeah, I mean, like, I've seen a couple podcasts, like Tony Baker was talking about, like, Halle Berry kissed Adrian Brody or something.
Yeah, because I think that happened, like, maybe 10, 20 years ago last time he won something, I guess, so they were just, like, recreated that. But
yeah,
now
who
Adrian
knows?
Brody
I'm like, oh, this sounds like a publicity stunt.
Did you know that Adrian Brody's girl is Harvey Weinstein's ex-wife?
Really?
Yeah, Georgina Chapman. Yeah, that's who Adrian Brody dates now.
Interesting. Is that
Yeah.
just his girlfriend or his wife?
I'm not. They might be married. I'm not. To be honest, I'm not sure. I'll look into that and get back to you.
Yeah,
on,
like
on
I know
on a
nothing about
podcast in the
celebrities.
future.
Who
The
fucking knows?
podcast in the future.
Who cares? Honestly.
I'll go to GMZ and figure that out for you.
Well, moving on, and this is also something I know absolute jack shit about is White Lotus. You said White Lotus, good show, or have we been brainwashed into thinking that?
All right, so White Lotus, man. So listen, I've heard about White Lotus since the day it came out, and I never even gave it an opportunity, and so my girl loves it, and season 3 recently premiered, and so she was hype about getting to season 3, and so she was like, "Kate, you want to watch this? Catch up with me?" So we just rushed through the first 2 seasons or whatever. We binge watched seasons 1 and 2. It's a phenomenal show if you binge watch it. It isn't that phenomenal if you have to wait week to week. It's exactly how I feel about Game of Thrones, which we can get into later on. But week to week, it's a terrible idea because it just leaves you on such a cliffhanger a lot, or a lot of stuff. There's a lot of episodes where nothing happens, seemingly nothing happens. But when I sent you these topics, I hadn't watched the most recent episode, which is, I think, episode 3 of this most new season or whatever. And after watching it, I was even more convinced that I was brainwashed that it's a good show. But then after discussing it with a friend of mine and like actually talking through like what happened, because I went up to him and I was like, dude, nothing happens in this show. Like what actually, explain to me what happened. And we went through talking about it for like 20, 25 minutes before you knew it. I was like, wow, we've been talking about this for 25 minutes. A lot of stuff does happen. It's very nuanced. It is a good show. I'm a fan of it. It could be better. This season's a little bit wacky. Every season they go through like a different type of thing. And the cool thing about it is visually it is stunning. So the first season they shot in Hawaii. The second season they shot in Italy. I want to say on the Amalfi Coast. And this third season is in Thailand. And so, I mean, just beautiful landscapes, beautiful shots. Like it's filmed really well. It's basically, it's a drop-in of a 1 week of a high-end resort. And so it's the differences between like a family that's super spoiled and entitled versus like 3 girls that were friends since childhood and they go on a girls trip. It shows you the aspects of like the people that work at the hotel, which, in these type of places, a lot of these people come from nothing and they work for peanuts and they're really great people, but they get shit on or whatever. But it's basically every season a murder happens or some sort of thing happens in the first few minutes of the season. They don't actually show it to you. You kind of hear it off camera or whatever. And then it reverts to like 1 week ago. And then those next 9.5 episodes build up to that event or whatever. So in my mind, it's a good show, but I'm still not ready to give up on have I been brainwashed into believing it's a good show. So we will revisit this topic in a few weeks once more episodes have come out.
Yeah,
But you should check it out though, dude.
I haven't. My ex was into it, and so I watched like the season finale maybe of the last season or the season before. I can't remember.
Sure.
And it was like okay.
Yeah, that's the thing.
I was like pretty bored
of
of it, and like clearly I wasn't invested and didn't know anything about the characters or their development through the show or anything.
And I mean that is the whole show. That is the whole season is character development that until that crescendo at the end. So just coming in for that last episode, I could imagine you're super bored because you're like, what? Who is this? Why are they doing this? Et cetera, et cetera. The last season had Michael Imperioli in it, who played Christopher Moltisanti on The Sopranos. He did a really great job on it. But
I mean, I do
Scarface?
I do like love Walton Goggins, who is like
Oh
amazing.
my God, he's so
like,
good,
he's
dude.
hilarious.
He's great in this season. He's the best part of this season, and I cannot wait for Gemstones to come back, dude. Speaking of that, that guy should be on every HBO show. Anytime HBO does a show, just put him on there. Game of Thrones, I don't care, dude. Whatever.
Yeah,
to
put him
bring
in
back
Game of
Oz,
Thrones.
you know what I'm saying? I don't care. Whatever you want to do. He should be in the next House of Dragons nonsense. Like whatever you want to do. He should star in a Game of Thrones spinoff. Let him be the new Jon Snow. I don't care. That guy's phenomenal.
Yeah, he's incredible, actually.
Yeah, it's top notch, dude, top notch. But so I was just telling you, Michael Imperioli, who played Christopher, was in the last season. Do you remember Scarface, Tony Montana?
Of course.
So there's a character in Scarface named Omar Suarez, and there's a scene where Tony goes to visit, Sosa, and goes with Omar Suarez, and then Tony gets held back. Omar's supposed to go meet back with Frank, and then they see him in the helicopter, whatever, they kill him. That dude who played Omar Suarez back then is also in White Lotus season 2, and he's a phenomenal actor. So, you know, they get great actors, they get great locations. So it is a very well done show. It's just, look, man, for HBO, I've seen better. You know, it's not The Sopranos.
Yeah,
you know
it's
what I'm
like
saying?
it's not
The Wire.
even. Yeah, like I love The Righteous Gemstones and Vice Principals. Like I love those comedy kind of dark
Gemstones
comedy
is
flicks.
phenomenal.
Yeah, do what?
Gemstones is phenomenal. Dude.
Yeah, that's a great show. That's a great show.
I'm a big Adam Devine guy. I like that kid.
And I did watch Fallout on Amazon, and it was okay. And he's okay in it, like as a villain. He's still like probably the best part about that show is kind of trash in my opinion. But
You talking about Goggins?
yeah,
Yeah, he's good, man. I'm telling you, that guy's great. Speaking of HBO, Last of Us season 2 is coming out. Shout out to our boy Gabriel Luna, who plays Tommy on that.
yeah, man,
season 2
really
of that's
excited
coming
about that. Tommy, the Tommy character is great, and like Gabe is just. It's really awesome to see one of your friends like really blow up in film and TV. It's I mean, and you guys are pretty close still. Like,
yeah, that's my boy, man. That's my brother too. Yeah, I mean, look, the writing was on the wall for him years ago. I mean, he was Terminator with Schwarzenegger, and I mean, he's done a lot of great stuff. He was in True Detective. I mean, he's been in quite a few things. But yeah, I would say like, I mean, this one is hopefully going to put him over the edge. Actually, South by Southwest is happening right now, and I believe tonight they're premiering his movie called The Astronaut, which is with Kate Mara. So I mean, his star is only rising.
Yeah, and I saw that he's on Last of Us panel today in Austin, I think.
Yeah, 100%. He's on there. I think Pedro Pascal is going to be there as well. I mean, look, dude, as his star keeps rising, he stays as humble as he ever was. And actually, I think he came with us to that first Mardi Gras to where I met you.
That's the first time I met you was with Gabe and Zeely and Vardon
Abs,
brought the three of you.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, my cousin was with us. Right, exactly. And you were gracious enough to be like, yo, come to the crib. I got a recording studio. You guys could use it.
Yeah, we made a song.
recorded a bunch of like freestyles and songs, and we had a blast. Yeah. That was the beginning of Gotham Green and Martin Arsenault relationship. For sure,
yep, and Gabe was like the hippie rapper.
He was there. yeah, he was there. Yeah, he used to go by the rapper name Mowgli. I don't know if he wants that out there or not.
Mowgli. I forgot his rap name. That's right.
Yeah. I mean, he still does stuff. Like now he's kind of, he's ill with the guitar and stuff. I mean, like you know, Gabe is a cool ass dude, man. If he messes with you, he'll mess with you, man. Like he'll do some stuff. He doesn't have that ego, which is phenomenal. Even though, I mean, I can tell you two things. One time, he was in New York for Comic-Con because he was also in Marvel. He played Ghost Rider on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So one year I went, he asked me, he's like, yo, you want to come to Comic-Con, just kick it? I was like, yeah, no problem, I'll come through. And so, I mean, he had like a Marvel lady walk me right through everything or whatever, but we were hanging out backstage. And this kid is so dope. He said, yo, I want to go into the crowd. And Marvel security was like, I don't know if that's a great idea. He's like, yo, I'm going to go into the crowd. I want to give stuff away. And he went out in the crowd. I forget what kind of mask he had on, but he had a mask on at first, so nobody was bothering him. And he literally took the mask off. And I mean, when I tell you, people were clamoring to talk to this kid. Now, again, it's Comic-Con, so all these people are super into that stuff. This is the kind of guy he was, dude. He would grab people's cell phones because he had longer arms than them, and he would take better selfies for them. Security was like, yo, your panel's going to start soon. You need to go back. He's like, yo, they could wait 5 minutes. Now, he wasn't a major star on this, but he was just humble and wanted to be cool with the fans. Another time, on another trip to New York, he was doing a comic book signing or whatever, dude, and I popped up on that. And I mean, when you see these people face light up, because he really is a humble dude. He makes you feel great. He makes you feel
he really is
welcome. So shout out to him, man. I hope his career continues to rise.
Yeah,
and actually,
it's
fun.
And I don't know if there's someone that we know that I feel like is more deserving than Gabe, like as far as just like being a genuine, nice person who's just like very grateful for all the opportunities that he's had.
Correct.
Like he's just really an amazing person.
I agree with you 100%, man. And, you know, look, I think anytime James Cameron calls you directly and, you know, tells you he wants you to be in something, there's a reason for that. He's not doing that with everybody.
Yeah.
Real quick, the last thing I will say about Gabe for now is that, believe it or not, Gabe was shooting an independent film in New York. This is 100 years ago. He was crashing at my place when I was living in Brooklyn, and I was at work, and he hit me one day, and he was like, yo, I got tickets to this Giants game, Monday Night Football. You want to go to this Giants game? We both were supposed to go to the Freddie Gibbs show that night. Freddie Gibbs was playing in Brooklyn. And so I was like, yeah, cool, let's go to the game, and then after the game, we'll hit the Freddie Gibbs show. And, we ended up not going to the show, but unfortunately, that was the night that in Brooklyn where Freddie had a little bit of an incident, and those of you who know about
that's
it know
like
about
the shooting happened.
Yeah, like I said, he was into an incident, and those of you who know about it know
I mean,
about it.
I think it's public knowledge. Like,
I
a
guess
DJ
now
got
the
hit in the
world knows
leg.
Yeah, that's correct. Yes,
I
Freddie was shot
remember
at a bunch
being
of
like,
times.
man, I'm really glad that I was not DJing for him.
That's a fact. Dude, I mean, look, at the end of the day, if it wasn't for that Monday Night Football game, and this is not like hyperbole or anything like that. If it wasn't for that Monday Night Football game, I would have been in that car with them. Like, that is 100% fact.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a good story.
Yeah, shout out to Gibbs, shout out to Gabe. You know, a lot of G's. Everybody who's got a G named good in my book, but I could be biased.
Well, since we kind of got on the topic of rap, let's move on kind of to feel like it'll be the bulk of our discussion today, which I'm like no authority on this topic. I know a bit about it, and you've told me a bit about it, and just like watching other podcasts and just being involved in music and playing music in the club and stuff.
Let's go.
I know some
Let's
of this,
go.
but yeah, here we go. So we have decided to talk about the Drake versus Kendrick beef.
How could we not talk about it? How could we not talk about it? You want to take a side? What do you want to do here?
Pick a side?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a debater, so whatever you want to do. I
already know. I'll just I'm kind of indifferent to the whole thing, but I'll just go Team Kendrick because I know that you love Drake and you have feelings about Kendrick and why your notes here say why Kendrick can't win. So let's just go. Let's put you on Team Drake. I'll be Team Kendrick. So how do you
that's fine. But I want to be. That's fine, and we could do that. But I want to be very clear. I love Kendrick and I love Drake. Right? I'm a fan of bars. So if you got bars, I'm a fan. I met Kendrick before he was ever big. Right after he signed with Dre, they were doing a CMJ show in New York. Shout out to El Prez. He invited me to come through the show. Everybody was kicking it downstairs of SOBs where the green room is. Everybody was smoking, drinking, whatever. And I asked Prez, I was like, yo, who's that guy just kind of sitting in the corner by himself? Again, nobody knew who he was. I did not know who he was at the time. And Prez was like, oh, that's K-Dot. Like, he just signed with Dre. He's about to be the one. I'm like, okay, whatever. So shout out to Kendrick, man. I've been messing with Kendrick since day one. However, the topic that I sent you, what I told you was there's a reason why Kendrick cannot come out on top in this battle, right? Because Kendrick is a recluse, right? Kendrick does not want to be out. Kendrick feels like he doesn't need to be out unless he wants to be out. When you come for the crown, you take the crown, which a lot of people say he did, you then have to be willing to stand there and let other people try to take the crown from you. You cannot win a street basketball game and then grab your ball and say, I'm going home. That's not how this works, homie. You stay on the court if you keep winning. So just by the fact that Kendrick doesn't subscribe to the norms of a pop star or a rap superstar, which is what he is, regardless of what he wants to say, but he doesn't subscribe to the movements of those people. In my opinion, over time, Drake will still be ahead in this whole thing because Drake has a problem with staying inside. Drake won't stay quiet. Drake needs that constant attention. He needs to continue to put out music. And what I told you off podcast was, since Not Like Us came out, Kendrick has not dropped a single verse. Drake dropped an entire album with Party Next Door that went #1 in over 60 countries, right? And so did it hurt him? Yeah, I would say of all the battles that Drake's been through, this one probably hit the armor more than the rest, but I don't really think it does any sort of damage, which is a bigger conversation, by the way. Like, do rap battle? Can you get a rapper the fuck out of here in a battle? I don't think so. I just don't think that that's happening. I don't know if that ever was happening.
Do you think that's not happening nowadays? Or, I mean, like, for instance, I feel like 50 Cent put out Ja Rule.
Ja.
I mean, that, okay. I feel like that, Like, I don't think that happens anymore, and I don't think that this beef, like, these are two huge acts that I don't think that either one of them are going to get put out by the other and, like, lose their career like Ja Rule did. And,
I
feel
have an
like
interesting take on
maybe
that
I'm
part,
wrong,
too.
but I feel like 50 ended his career.
So look, anybody that knows me knows what my feelings are on Fifth, and we talked about it a little bit last week, and we could continue to talk about it because his name will continue to come up. As much as 50 Cent really, really derailed Ja Rule's career, throughout the entire beef, and even today, there are a bunch of people, and sorry if you hear that police officer in the background, I am driving again this week, but there are still people and were people from the day one of that beef that believe Ja Rule won that battle, Ja Rule beat up 50 Cent, Ja Rule's a better artist than 50 Cent, et cetera, et cetera. So Ja Rule he was able to still kind of continue. There's only ever been one rapper that I feel like in a battle lost his entire career, and that's Cannabis. When LL Cool J battled Cannabis, that completely destroyed and derailed Cannabis's entire career. But I believe what you're saying is correct. It's definitely not possible to happen these days, and I believe both of the guys that we're talking about right now, specifically Drake and Kendrick, they are too big to fail in terms of having this completely derail their career. So I don't think either one of these guys is going to have any sort of problems. And you know what's interesting too is like, that battle doesn't even make sense. Like, they don't do the same thing. They're not even in the same ballpark, right? Like, Kendrick
yeah, totally. I agree with that wholeheartedly.
Like, Kendrick ain't going for those, like, college-age girls and shit like this. That is exactly what Drake is going for, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I don't think Drake is necessarily...
Whereas
and I don't think Drake is necessarily making music for like, real street gangsters, like, with code language and, like, you know what I'm saying? And that is what Kendrick is doing. Like, Kendrick raps in code, bro, like, on a bunch of things.
I mean,
they
come from two different places. Like Drake is basically...
a child star.
Yeah, like, he's a child actor. And then Kendrick literally came up in South Central. And I also have history. Like, I mean, my thing with Kendrick is this. Like, he is the genuine article. Like, I've met him also. Humble, really nice guy. In 2008 or maybe early 2009, JB and El Prez put on a show and booked us at Temple Bar or Little Temple. I think Temple Bar.
Bar.
And Kendrick opened up for us. So this is like before he got put on, and just a humble, nice guy who came up.
Just to be clear, when you say us, you mean Gotham Green and Quickie Mart?
No, this was JB was booking this show, and he was like, they'll book this show because they say they know you. So can you DJ the show for us? So off the weight of my name, I guess, they booked this show, and this was before Kendrick blew up and before JB was an Emmy winner and everything. And we played this show
at that time knew your name.
You know, and you met Kendrick basically around the same time when El Prez played in New York. And so, I mean, he's connected to some real people that we know, that some, like, genuine hip-hop articles,
so, dude, he's related to a lot of genuine street article people that we know as well. We don't have to get into that, but yeah.
Yeah, and another thing with Kendrick is he's just more, in my opinion, a genuine soul creator. Whereas I feel like a lot of Drake is some culture vulture stuff, like namely two experiences of people I have, 1 degree of separation from Drake, like Hot Sizzle, who's a New Orleans bounce rapper. He he sampled one of his songs without telling him.
Clearance. Sure.
Child's Play, which is like a pretty well-known song. And he heard the song and was pretty upset about it. And I think he hired an attorney or something. But then Drake personally called him. And basically, I think they came up with a deal to just like pay him a nominal fee for the sample, which was not much money. I can't remember the number, but it was not much. It was in the low thousands. And then he brought him out to a few shows and flew him around and put him in a limo and all this stuff, and just like kind of wined and dined him. And I just think that is like hella disrespectful. And I think in the end, I think Hot Sizzle was probably okay with it. But then the other thing most recently is the whole Triple S thing, and basically biting off the branding and marketing of Freddie Gibbs' last full length. or previous full length to this last one. So it's just like for me, it's like a pop machine that is it's struggling to come up with original ideas and ghostwriters and a lot of this stuff. And to me, even though Kendrick has his own way of getting ideas from other people too, like I feel like Drake is much more of this pop machine, whereas Kendrick is a little more genuine in that respect.
I don't disagree with you, right? But so then here's my question. Why, if you're Kendrick, why are you Kanye Westing Taylor Swift? This guy is not in your league. They're not even in the same genre, really, from what you're saying. And I agree with you. So why even bother with that? That's not even here nor there for the topic of discussion. But that's just a question that I have. Now, look,
Is it a personal? You think it's like a personal thing?
Yeah, I think they've been ribbing at each other for quite some time. Yes, and I think, look, at the end of the day,
Drake is on his
they did
debut,
records before.
right?
They did. Yeah, no, they've done records together.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe so. I think he was on Good Kid, Mad City, or Kendrick was on
Poetic Justice, I think, is the name of the song.
Yeah, Poetic Justice, exactly.
And
but
I mean,
look,
I gotta say, like, Drake has bars on that song. Like, he kind of kills
Drake
it.
has bars. Drake has bars. Like, anybody that wants to tell me Drake doesn't have bars, yo, you're not listening then to Drake. Because any of those timestamp records, which Drake wrote, as far as I know, those records go hard. What it is with Drake is that people don't like the sing-songy part of Drake. If he was just a rapper, and look, you know what's funny? It's very similar to what people did with Ja Rule. They got tired of Ja Rule sing-songy shit, and they got him the fuck out of here, or they got him moved over. People don't like that Drake can do both. Drake got bars, dude. And
Drake started out as that. Like, Ja Rule started out as this hardcore street rapper,
Correct.
and then moved on to Ashanti and R&B singers on all of his stuff, and that was just like an easy target for 50 Cent. Whereas Drake has started out doing that from the top. So it's like, you know, you can take swings at him, but that's what he's been doing.
That's correct.
Since
dude, right? That's
the
what
beginning of his rap career.
Right. And now look, just a real quick to put a bow on that Hot Sizzle conversation, right? Hot Sizzle took the upfront money. Hot Sizzle took the shows. Hot Sizzle took the limo ride. Hot Sizzle could have got a lawyer and sued Drake for pub. He didn't. At the time, it was a better look. Look, it's the same type of thing that happened with Migos, right? Drake took Versace and made it basically a Drake song. Quavo and them could have cried about it and complained about it. And what'd they do? They rode the wave. There have been a lot of rappers that have rode the Drake wave when he jumped on a song. I also think the Drake today and the Drake that jacked that Hot Sizzle sample, which it wasn't Drake because he's not a producer. I think we all know that. It was probably 40 or whoever made that beat. But Drake gets blamed for it because he's the artist. But it's not the same guy. He doesn't have the same money. He doesn't have the same power. He didn't have the same backing that he does today. So today, Hot Sizzle probably could have gotten a little bit more out of him. Back then, that was probably what Drake or 40 had, you know?
There's no way.
Look,
there's no way.
We've
no.
done,
like
we've done,
there's no art there's no arguing that Drake could have shelled out a lot more than he did.
But he doesn't. But he could have. But if you can't, yo, dude, you're worth what you can negotiate, right? Graf, shout out to Graf. Graf, the homie. Graf, me and Graf got records. Graf has a song on has a line on one of his songs where he says, "I don't get what I deserve. I get what I negotiated," which is realer shit has never been said, right?
Yeah, I agree with it. I mean, I don't think that he should have taken that deal either. I think he should have taken him to court, and he would have got at least a better settlement out of it. Like, there's no denying that they ripped him off. Correct. You know, but I mean, that's what they do. Like, I mean, it's, for instance, we used to work with another bounce rapper, Kino, and I actually recorded this song that was going to be a song that we were going to do, and his manager, without me knowing, sent Diplo the files, and then they made a song. Skrillex and Diplo made a song out of it for the Jack U record, and they kind of did the same thing, and they paid him a minimal amount. They brought him to a bunch of shows. And I mean, all these guys do have big Instagram followings, but they're not blowing up like they should have been. Like, they should be well-known names outside of Louisiana, and they're still in really niche
that circuit of rap. That Hot Sizzle, that song, that Drake song, that was the Watch the Breakdown. That's that Kiki, Do You Love Me? Was that song?
It's Child's Play, if you know that song.
Oh, okay. Child's Play. Got it.
Bounce that shit like,
because I know
whoa.
Because
or whatever.
didn't he jack Frida also? Didn't he jack Frida on that shit where Kiki,
I think,
do you
I mean,
love
the
me?
Frida
Da, da, da,
is
that
a
shit.
different entity, and Frida has like a lot more notoriety and better management. And
But he jacked her shit also, though.
I don't think he did.
Oh, you think he cleared that?
Yeah. Because all the
Got it.
stuff,
So that
like
one was
Frida's
clear.
worked with Beyonce and a bunch of
Yeah.
other people. So Frida's team is just like really
Yeah, they're on
got their shit together, you know? So,
Yeah, definitely.
but I mean, and that's like proves your point even more is like it's how you negotiate and what you have to
That's it.
negotiate with, where,
That's it.
you know, that it really breaks down. And you and I know this is like, I mean, your career can be made or broken by if you have a team or not.
Now,
And so
speaking-
that is
exactly.
like, you know, that is like a big part of the difference between Frida and Hazizel with Drake, I think.
Right. Now, let's stay on the topic of Drake and negotiations, right? Because one thing that right now, everybody is kind of clowning Drake on or demeriting Drake for is that Drake is in the middle of a lawsuit with UMG, Universal Music Group, right? People are like, oh, Drake's suing because he lost. Drake's suing because he lost. Drake's suing Kendrick. Number one, Drake is not suing Kendrick. Drake is suing Universal Music Group. Drake is suing Universal Music Group for things such as payola and having bots and promoting that Kendrick song, whatever. Now, Drake fully understands that UMG did the exact same thing for him for his records. What people don't know or don't care to research is that Drake's deal with UMG, where he signed that $400 million deal, is set to expire. Drake is using this as leverage and negotiation power to renegotiate a better deal. And I promise you, it will happen. This is all business maneuvering. Everybody does this. People do this type of stuff all the time. It's just the fact that of the timing of when it happened, the notoriety of it, people are like, oh, you're suing because you lost. Now, if he would have won, it's arguable to say that maybe in the public eye, it's arguable to say that maybe he wouldn't have done this. But if he would have, quote unquote, won, he would have had the negotiating power and the leverage to renegotiate his deal. So I truly believe this lawsuit is all it is a negotiation tactic. I think he went to them with an offer. They rejected it. And he said, yo, I have all this stuff. Like, we could go to court with it. Whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. So I'm interested to see how that plays out.
Yeah, and all those details are true, but optics are what makes a beef, right? And makes it look who won or lost. So, like, I mean, your average rap fan is just going to look at that and be like, oh, he's suing because he lost. So,
sure.
I mean, optically,
and
it looks like he is kind of being a Karen about it. Whether that's
Okay.
not the case, and it is, I mean, I believe that he's also doing the same thing. Like, he's suing to get a better deal. But
right. But all those
like
true hip-hop guys
$500
that are
million
gonna
isn't enough, but whatever.
Nah, he's got more than that. And all those true hip-hop guys that are going to be like, nah, you doing it because you lost. Guess what? The next Drake song that comes out, all those true hip-hop guys, their girlfriends, their wives, their side pieces, their baby mamas are going to be like, yo, play that new Drake shit.
Well, why do you
$1.
think it is that Drake does kind of come off with like as a culture vulture in the culture?
I think it's the same reason why people didn't give Derek Jeter the credit that he deserved as a black person, because he doesn't look black. Simple and plain.
You don't
Mixed
think it's just
race-
because he's a child actor and like is more privileged than like someone like Kendrick?
No, I don't think so. I mean, maybe. Look, okay, yes. It's a more nuanced answer, and there are many reasons why. Number one, yeah, he did come up a little bit better than your typical rap artist, right? And he talks greasy like he came from nothing, right? Started from the bottom, now we hear. Now, at some point, yes, arguably, he did start from the bottom. It wasn't like he was born into like a lavish life. Like, his mother did struggle. His parents were divorced. His dad moved to Memphis, whatever it may be. He got lucky by being on a TV show, but theoretically, before the TV show, he did have nothing. So you could have a leg to stand on if it's me and I'm like, yo, man, I did start from nothing. Yeah, I understand. I made it to TV before I made it to rap, but before TV, I was living in public housing, whatever it may be.
But again,
no, dude,
it's
really,
like it's optics,
I think
right?
it boils down to skin. I think it boils down to skin color. I really think it boils down to skin color, dude. I really, really do. I think if Drake had a complexion closer to his dad, you wouldn't be having this. You know why I can say that with full confidence? Because look at fucking J. Cole. Does anybody tell J. Cole he's a culture vulture?
Not to my knowledge.
And J. Cole has the exact same parental lineage that Drake does. A black dad, a white mom.
So let me ask you this, because I don't really know too much about it. Like, how did J. Cole escape this whole conversation?
So Cole, which sucks, dude, because Cole released the joint and then he deleted it off of all streaming. And the joint, which was up for like a couple days, was actually pretty good. Cole came out and was like, yo, I need to back out of this because while I could win the I might not lose the battle, but I would lose a friend or whatever. And so he just didn't want to be involved in it. But at the end of the day, that, in my opinion, is just bad foresight, dude. Then you shouldn't have done that first-person shooter song, which is a good song, but that kind of started all of this. And so, you know, he dipped his toe in the water. The water was too cold, so he jumped the fuck out. Like, most guys would just jump head first into the water. They don't dip a toe in it, but he dipped a toe in it, and he decided, you know what, I don't want to get into the pool. So, hey, man, you're allowed to do that. But then what bothers me, and I love Cole, dude. I love Cole. And I think of the three of them, Cole's the best one, bars-wise. Cole could really wrap circles around Kendrick also. Debate me in the comments if you guys don't agree with me. Debate me in the comments. Hit me
honestly,
up on Instagram, whatever.
if we are picking out of the three, like, J. Cole is hands down my favorite from the three.
Same.
Like, I think Kendrick is really talented. I don't think he's like the greatest of all time. But I don't either. I just like think that J. Cole makes really great songs, and he's also a producer, like as far as making his own beats, which is rare. Like,
agreed.
And maybe he has maybe who knows where the ghostwriting is for all these three of these people, but it just feels like J. Cole for me is where I'm driven towards as an artist more so than the other two.
Same, dude. I mean, I'll tell you straight away. Like when a Drake project comes out, typically I like let's say it's a 15-song album, I would probably like 6, 7 songs. When it's a Cole album, 15 songs, I'm liking at least 11, 12 of them. When it's a Kendrick album, I'm probably liking like 4 or 5 of them. And those ones would probably typically be the ones that Dre produced, or you know somebody that is almost on genius level really helped with. Yeah, Cole's the best one out of all 3 of them. And again, you guys could debate me in the comments, send me DMs, blow up my Instagram page, whatever you want to do. Tell me why I'm wrong. But that's fine. It's opinion. It's an opinion, and that's my opinion. But here's the thing that I agree with what people are saying. J. Cole still talks greasy. J. Cole just put a song out called Clouds. Clouds is a phenomenal song. The part that I don't like is the same thing that Maul doesn't like from Rory and Maul. Stop talking about you'll turn rappers into martyrs. You do not need to say that anymore, brother. We already know you will not do that. So you had your opportunity, and Cole could hold his own against a bunch of people. So, and a guy who really, like, Cole seems like the kind of kid or kind of guy who really studied hip hop, who was really a student of the game, who understood everything, who's researched. Like, dude, you kind of knew where this was going, and you kind of know, but like you also kind of know, like, yo, you could battle and not lose a friend. Like, it's all good, but if you don't want to get into that arena, then just completely stay away from that arena. And what's funny is there are really good rappers that are still active, because Gotham Green is a really, really good rapper too, but I'm not as active anymore in that space. There are really phenomenal rappers that are sick and tired of Cole continuously telling everybody how he would destroy rappers in a battle, but then the one battle you had the opportunity to get into, you ran away from. And the guy that I'm thinking about is a guy we just mentioned a little bit ago, Freddie Gibbs. Freddie Gibbs had a lot to say on social media when that Cloud song came out. And Freddie wrote, people making songs, he didn't say the word people, but people making songs about killing other rappers, you won't kill anything. And it's true. And I would really love to see a Freddie Gibbs versus J. Cole battle. Just on wax, you know what I mean? Because I don't think either one of those guys wants to fist fight each other. But I think that would be a phenomenal battle. Bars. And for the culture, that would be interesting to see. And I might be biased, but much as I
No,
love Cole.
I mean, I'm not privy to this, but like, how is that like just your own opinion, or did this get brought up in other spheres?
No, it got brought up in other spheres where, it seems like Freddie, look, Freddie has a way of baiting people, right? Into things. And, people react to Freddie, like, as crazy as it sounds. Like, I mean, like, he has a tendency to get under people's skin. So that podcast that I was mentioning, Rory and Maul, they talked about it. Maul talked about it. And
Okay.
I'm of the same opinion. I think it would be a phenomenal battle. And I think anybody who's like, nah, Cole would wash Freddie, you just haven't listened to enough Freddie, man. Like,
Yeah,
same
I
thing.
believe the
hit me up.
opposite, even as a J. Cole fan. Like, and maybe I'm just
Same.
biased because Freddie's a good friend, but like,
That's what I'm
I
saying.
think that Freddie would body J. Cole.
Look, I don't know if he would body J. Cole, but he would win the battle.
Like, J. Cole is a great songwriter. Is he like incredibly lyrical like Freddie?
Yes.
Because I mean, has he ever done that rapid fire shit? I
Yes.
miss that.
Yes, he has.
Like, send me some songs, but yeah,
I
that's
will.
just my
I will.
own
But no,
opinion.
I mean, look, you got to understand, dude. Freddie's Midwest.
Like, I think it'd be a
that-
great battle. I would think it would be a great battle.
I agree. That's all I'm saying. I think it would be a great battle. Now, you asked, has he done that rapid fire like Freddie? Look, Cole has done rapid fire rap, but I don't think you could out rapid fire a rapper from the Midwest. That is just like that. It's in them. Like, if you're a rapper from the Midwest, in your blood is that triple time rap. You have that. Like, I mean, the list can go on from Bone Thugs to Twista to Gibbs. I mean, there's so many of these guys. So can anybody really compete with that super fast flow? Maybe not. Freddie hasn't really been doing that a lot recently, though. But I would love to see it, man. I would love to see it just as a fan of hip hop. I think it would be a phenomenal battle, like you said.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, I don't think it's settled with Drake and Kendrick, and we'll see more come from them.
No,
I mean,
don't know
one
about
more
that
thing I guess I forgot to mention about it is the impact of They Not Like Us. Like, I've never seen so many marching bands, so many schools, like every band during Mardi Gras marching in parades. I don't think I've seen such a rap beef song be used by so many different groups as just not a song about beef, but as a representation of culture. Be used.
But does that say more about Not Like Us, or does that just say more about where hip hop is in the world today?
I mean, I'm not sure. I'm just
No, that's a question. That's the question.
I just haven't seen a Drake song do the same thing.
I think Hotline Bling was used by a lot of people. Again, it wasn't a diss song, but I think Hotline Bling was everywhere. I think that Kiki, Do You Love Me shit was everywhere. Drake has had songs that were everywhere. But yeah, dude, I
But
can agree
used
with
in
you.
that,
Like,
I mean, and also like the Super Bowl numbers. You know, we talked a little bit about this on the phone.
correct.
Like the Super Bowl numbers, like he had the most watched Super Bowl performance, beating Michael Jackson's.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, it's like easier, yes, with streaming, but no one has touched that since streaming came out still, which is impressive because,
that's
like,
correct.
just with television and cable, and '94, I think, was MJ's Super Bowl thing.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, that's like hard to top, anyways. It's just like, you know, no one will ever sell as many records as Thriller because of streaming now. Like, that record
Correct.
will
That's the
never,
thing.
ever get broken.
Yeah, it's hard to compare, right? I mean, like, you can't compare LeBron James to Michael Jordan. You can't compare Will Chamberlain to any of these guys. Like, I get that, right? But no, I don't disagree with you, dude. The impact or the buzz or you know, the amount of attention that it got, the song, forget about the Super Bowl for a second, but the song, yeah, I don't think we've ever seen anything like that. I agree. But again, I think that was a mix of the song and also where hip-hop and rap music has come to in the world. I also think, man, like, no matter who you are, right? Yo, they love you. They love you. They love you. They're rooting for you to get to the top. And then the minute you get to the top, they sick and tired of you, right? And Drake has just been at the top for too long. And so I think the general public also was kind of like, they hopped on it because they were like, yo, this guy's killing the king. You know what I mean? So, and that's the thing, right? Like, that's just human nature, right? We love you till you're successful, then we want to tear you down. And America loves watching
At least
the
American
downfall.
culture, yeah. Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Yeah, that's why his party album, that's why the album with Party Next Door is #1 in 60 countries. I don't think it was #1 in America. You know what I mean? I could be wrong. But yeah, America loves to watch people fall down, right? And so I think that everybody kind of was on that same bandwagon. Look, when Not Like Us first came out, I loved the shit. I listened to it fucking 10 times in a row. I knew every word before it hit the radio. And then they just overdid it and they played it out, in my opinion. Now, people still love it. That's great. I don't listen to it anymore. The minute that first drum hits, I'm like, turn this off, you know? Also, here's one thing I will say about Kendrick. A lot of Kendrick music sounds the same. Like my favorite song on that album is that All I Ever Wanted Was a Black Grand National. That mustard, that shit that everybody's singing now. It sounds just like Not Like Us, dude. So like, yo, let me get a little bit of like, I would love to see Kendrick do more pop stuff. I think he has it in him. He just doesn't want to do it. But like, he's done a couple remixes in the last couple years and they're dope. Like, you know, he's got a Bridget Kelly remix and all these type of things. He could do it. He just chooses not to. And that is kind of annoying.
Yeah, like I'm not really a fan of this last Kendrick record as a whole. It just doesn't.
Funny,
Like I'm more of a fan of Kendrick's deeper, more organic stuff. Like his song with Beth Gibbons from Portishead on his last record. That is like amazing.
Sure.
Like that is an incredible record, and it's not just because I like Portishead is one of my favorite bands ever, but it's also because it is just a really deep song, and it just builds to this amazing climax and crescendo. And
was that on Damn or was that on Mr. Morale? Do you remember?
What's the name where he's like in the hotel room with a crown of thorns? And what's the name of that record?
I think that's Mr. Morale on the Big Steppers.
Yeah, it wasn't on Damn. It was on the one between these two.
Yeah, so Mr. Morale, yeah.
Yeah, like that's a really great record. I like that. That and Damn are, and even Good Kid, Mad City. I mean, there's like really great records, which is another thing. Like I feel like Drake is more quantity focused, whereas Kendrick is more quality focused. But I can't really say that about this last record. Like I just don't feel like it had the effort of production that. For me, for a Kendrick record, it seemed a little phoned in. And I know I'm supposed to be on Team Kendrick with this argument, but I just like, I'm hard pressed to find, I think I like one of the SZA songs, really. That was the only song, and I'm like, I haven't even listened to it that much because I gave it a few listens and I was like, yeah, this is okay. But I find myself listening to more older Kendrick than this record.
Yeah, I mean, look, I actually like the record. I think that he got exactly what he was going for. I think what he was going for this record was a West Coast album of anthems. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is West Coast pride. This is, I'm California, I'm Southern California, I'm LA, I'm Compton. Like, I represent all of us ride with me. And it worked. He had the videos, he had the whole hood out, and it worked. And I mean, California, I don't know if California's ever had a more representative album that got this far into the mainstream. There are phenomenal songs on it, dude. But I agree with you. It is
maybe
a lot of Kendrick. Yeah, The Chronic, I would say, okay, yeah, maybe The Chronic. But again, I think The Chronic wasn't going for we hold down California. I think California kind of banded around The Chronic and made it their own. He created that California sound, right? And so, I know it was happening before that, but I'm talking about for the mass public. That sound really hadn't been heard too much on the East Coast until The Chronic came, really.
You're gonna have
so now that sounds
your comments from West Coast people. I just like if enough people listen to this, I fear for your comments.
No. Listen. Let me be clear. I'm talking to you from the perspective of a kid who was born in 1982, New York, right? We heard slight bits of NWA, which was Dre, but we weren't getting a lot of us weren't getting Too Short and those kind of guys and all those guys. We were exposed to that when Dre went off on his own. So to us, that California sound that people know today that they love, that mustard sound, that's Dre, dude. That is all off the Dre tree. You know what I'm saying? And so I agree. The comments could get wild. And again, this is all opinionated, dude. I don't have all the facts, right? And I also don't have the memory. My memory is shot. And, again, I smoked, whatever. So, But from what I can remember, what I'm trying to say is that sound has now been established that, yo, this is the Cali sound. He went and he said, you know what? I'm going to take these Cali sound and I'm going to make an entire album dedicated to it and dedicated to the love of LA and the love I have for my people. And it was super successful, in my opinion. He dropped a phenomenal project. But
yeah, I mean, he cleaned
again,
house at the Grammys.
Just to button this up to where I started at, yo, man, if you want to be the best and the king of the moment, you got to be willing to stand there and take the shots. When is he going to put another project out? Will it be 2025? Will it be 2027? Will it be 2028? I feel like before this album came out and before this beef started, wasn't Kendrick kind of out there talking about he's got like one more project left and then he's going to retire? Right? He left TDE, started PG Lang. He was going to do like 1-2 albums and then that was going to be it. So I'm interested to see if this like rekindles his love for it, if this makes him want to continue to make music and drop music more regularly. Because, bro, if you don't put an album out until 2026, I'm going to be a little bit upset.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like his trend is a record every few years, so.
I know, which sucks, dude. Like, again, as a fan of music, I want to hear good music. Not a lot of guys putting out good music these days, so knowing that Kendrick can put out good music, I'm like, dog, let's get to it. You know what I mean? Like, I want to hear more.
Well, I think these are some good takes, and we'll just have to see how all of this plays out between these two guys, or if they're just in league together and this is all a publicity stunt.
No, I don't think it's that, but I think they're done with it.
Yeah, it seems like
I think
it's calmed down. Like people
I think
aren't
Drake
talking
might
about
throw
it as
some
much.
subliminals. Like Drake will throw some subliminals here and there, but Drake's the subliminal king, right? I mean, Drake's been subliminally dissing Joe Budden for the last decade and a half. So, you know, I think Drake will continue to maybe throw a couple shots here and there, but I don't think you're going to hear any more full-on diss records. I don't think Kendrick's going to respond anymore. I think he's moved off of it, and as he should, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's not his thing. You don't need that, brother. You did what you came to do. You showed everybody why, you know, you're not to be messed with, and now just go back to doing what you do.
Yeah.
By the way, we're coming up on like an hour and 5 minutes or whatever it may be, so we can wrap this up here in a bit. But one thing I want to say, dude, and again, this is my opinion. Battle me, whatever you want to do. Debate me, whatever you want to do. For as good of a fucking rapper as Kendrick Lamar is a better actor. And if you don't believe me, go Google or YouTube Kendrick Lamar Power. Because his guest role on Power was one of the illest characters I've ever seen. And Kendrick Lamar needs to do more TV and more movies. If I was 50 Cent, I would be figuring out a way to work with Kendrick Lamar right now to create a TV show that he can star in. He is a phenomenal actor, dude. He played the illest crackhead role on Power.
I've never even watched that show, so.
My God. Well, the show's phenomenal, but his character, my God, so good in it. So yeah, man, you guys should check that out, bro. I loved his character on that show. Kendrick is a phenomenal actor. Kendrick is a phenomenal artist. I will leave it with that. I love Kendrick. He's a great artist. Drake is a very good music maker. And maybe that's the difference right there.
Yeah.
Right? Kendrick is artistry. Drake is music. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? So again, those two things are not comparable, right? You don't compare Salvador Dali with Mozart. Yeah.
Well, look, we do have a couple really quick ones I think that might be good for a laugh with wrapping this topic up.
So you want to do rapid fire?
Because I don't even know what this means. And I mean, I know who this person is, but your topic is Meghan Markle. Why is this even a thing?
Yeah, I mean, I think the topic speaks for itself. Like, are we not sick of this fucking lady yet? Like, come on, man.
Like bro, I don't even know what you're referring to, though.
Yo, I don't care about you. You were the 7th lead on a USA TV show that you left. You have not had a gig since then. Don't tell me you don't want the gigs. I'm tired of Meghan Markle. I don't care what you want your last name to be. I don't care about the royal family. I'm tired of it, bro. Now she's got another show with Netflix where she's jacking Pamela Anderson's whole aesthetic. She's making crappy pastas. She's yelling at people. I'm tired of it. Enough with Meghan Markle. And again, same thing that we were talking about last week. And you know what's funny is if you look at the next topic that I gave you, that lady is the exact same thing. Nobody cares about you. Stop forcing yourself in front of the camera. Stop forcing yourself onto the public. Meghan Markle, Casey Anthony, same thing. Casey Anthony just came out as a legal expert. What legal expertise do you have? You were on trial for murdering your own daughter. You're not a lawyer. Move the fuck on. Nobody cares.
I mean,
I'm sorry
she
that
could
you
probably
can't make money.
teach people how to get out of a case they're probably guilty for.
Preposterous, dude. Preposterous. Army Hammer, same thing. You didn't get that one. I hand wrote that one in today. Army Hammer. Yo, nobody cares, bro. Nobody cares. We don't care that your career is trash, so now you got to come out on a talk show and talk about, I tried hooking up with a dude one time, but I didn't like it. Nobody asked if you were gay. Nobody. Why do we need to know this?
I don't care because I don't even know who that. I care so little. I don't even know who a lot of these people are. I mean, I know that Meghan Markle is the Duchess of Sussex and blah blah blah.
No,
but
she's
I think
the actress on Suits.
Wait, what? Like, I just know her because of royalty, right?
She was an actress on the show called Suits.
Before she married Harry?
Yes.
Okay. See, I'm like I had no clue who she was until, like, you know, you can't not hear about British royalty. But as long as for Meghan, I mean, Casey Anthony and this other person you mentioned, like, whatever, you know, who, but as long as British royalty is a thing, Meghan Markle will be relevant.
She's not British royalty anymore. They left the royal family. You and I have both been on TV. It doesn't
matter. Like, he's still the child of the king. So
cool.
it's still going to be relevant, even if they're not actual.
No problem. You and I have both been on TV. We both know what a call sheet is.
Is she not the Duchess of Sussex?
Yeah, sure. That's what their name is. They're allowed to keep the title, but they've left the royal family. They no longer have active royal family duties and shit.
See, I care so little that I didn't even know that. Like,
yeah, she's nothing, dude. You and I have both been on TV. We both know what a call sheet is, right? She was like 7th or 8th on a call sheet. Yo, you're not a star. You've never been a star. You're just fame hungry, fame mongerer, like I like to call these people. And yo, cool. Look, hey, keep the grift going as long as you can. But I'm tired of it. That's it. I'm tired of it. Can I easily log off? Yeah, I know it's me. Believe me, I'm aware that it's me. But just shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
That's it. Just shut up. I'm tired of all you guys. Enough. Come with something that actually has value, and then maybe people will care. But like,
I mean, that ain't the American way, though. I mean, I think a lot of people do care, sadly enough.
No,
otherwise,
much
none
of
Casey Anthony and Meghan Markle and all these people wouldn't be getting media attention.
Sure, or
but
maybe,
it's like you say, it's the same reason you pay attention to a lot of these things at the top of the show is it's the cringe factor.
100%.
People like want to see the cringe factor. People also want to see people at the top fail, which is fucked up.
100%. And look,
but
at
some
the
of
end
these
the day,
people, like I gotta say, like some of them, I wouldn't mind seeing them fail either because they're just terrible people.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Look,
I don't know about Meghan Markle, but I feel like Casey Anthony's not a good person. Wouldn't mind seeing her get thrown in the bin.
Yeah, no, Meghan Markle, from all accounts, is not a good person either. But I'm with you. But you know what? Guess what? As crazy as it sounds, and again, I know it's going to sound weird because Casey Anthony killed her daughter, but Meghan Markle, Casey Anthony, you guys got lucky with genetics because you hit a couple genetic lotteries and you're pretty girls and you're decent looking, whatever it may be. So I think people give them more leeway and in terms of, I'm going to continue to check in. I don't think that if Meghan Markle was the size of Melissa McCarthy, I don't know if that many people would be paying attention to her. So that's fucked up and that's unfortunate. But, you know, America is all about aesthetics and is vain and all that kind of stuff. So if you're pretty and you're out there, they're probably going to latch on to you. And that's fucked up. But it is what it is, man. But yeah, I have a deep, deep disdain for Meghan Markle and people like Meghan Markle who you didn't really do anything to get to where you are. But now you want us to kind of listen to everything you have to say. Why? What expertise do you have? None. So
yeah,
I would rather, like, if I'm going to watch a cooking show, it ain't going to be Meghan Markle's cooking show, my brother.
Is that what her new show is?
A real chef.
Oh, is that what her new show?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, 100%.
Meghan Markle cooking the worst of British foods and putting an American spin on it.
No, she's American, dog.
No, I know she is. That's why I'm saying put an American spin spend on terrible British cuisine.
No, dude, she's making like one pot pastas. Yo, there was this. Yo, dude, when we get off this, just Google Meghan Markle pasta, dude. She made spaghetti. Yo, it's wild, dude.
So
she made
she's
spaghetti.
just like making spaghetti.
Yeah, but bro, she boils water and then she puts. It's weird.
Does she break the noodles?
No, she puts raw spaghetti on like a casserole dish and then fucking pours boiling water on top of it. Any Italian person will tell you that's not how you make pasta.
Oh, I'm sure Italian people watching that probably are losing their shit, throwing things at the TV.
Yeah. She's calling spaghetti noodle. It's wild, dude. Like, it is bonkers. And what's funny is that
Jesus.
Pamela Anderson recently put out a show, I guess, in Canada where she does like a cooking and like home show or whatever. And they're saying that she jacked that entire aesthetic. So you can't even come up with a new aesthetic for a cooking show. Like, there's been a million cooking shows, dude. You could either come up with something new or do something else. Like, it's frustrating. You know
Both
what I'm saying?
Yeah, both of them are just sound like totally unoriginal ideas anyways.
Yeah. Yep, that's correct. Martha Stewart's like, I did this 50 years ago.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Then I did it again with Snoop Dogg. So what are you talking about?
Yeah.
You know? So, but yeah, dude, I don't know. Like, that shit. So here's what I'll say. You really want to get me riled up? Just bring up some names. Like, Meghan Markle is definitely one of those names. You bring it up, watch me go. You know what I mean? Because it like boils my blood. Some people just boil my blood. And she's absolutely one of them. She's the worst, you know, and it is what it is. I feel bad for her dad and her family and all that, who she kind of just shits on nonstop, and whatever it may be. And I don't know any of the details, and I don't care to know any of the details. So I don't need people coming out to me and being like, well, I know Meghan and I was friends with her, da, 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 da. I don't care. Like, I really don't care. I'm going to have my opinion and I'm going to keep my opinion. That's what made me me. That's what's going to keep me me. But I hate you. If you're listening or if this makes it to you, I can't stand you. Sure, you can't stand me either, or you don't know me, but that's fine.
Well, I think with that, we could probably wrap today's episode up.
I love it. Yo, my brother, it's always great to talk to you. I look forward to continuing these conversations with you, and want to thank everybody for tuning in to Two Cynics in a Pod, Gotham Green, Martin Arsenal.
Yeah, and coming up, just for a heads up for people, anyone listening, we'll be publishing episodes every Wednesday, and next Wednesday, this episode will come out. But the following Wednesday, we're going to start to include videos. So as long as that works out for us and the cross-country technical issues that we kind of are going to have to deal with, look forward to video and our YouTube channel. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe, all that stuff. We're on Instagram, Two Cynics in a Pod, YouTube, Two Cynics in a Pod. Also at Gotham Green, at Mart Escape Hatch. So look us up and reach out to us, roast us in the comments.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, we look forward to...
Comment, like, run the numbers up. Tell us why we suck. Whatever you guys want to do, man. We're happy to chat about it. Give us topics you want to hear us discuss. We'll look at the topics.
Yeah, we're no strangers to
people
shitting on us. Just go look at some of our YouTube videos.
On that note, I love you, my brother.
I love you too, man.
All right, peace.
Peace.
I'm high pace with a high rise taste.
Addicted to the vapors of paper.
Embarking the darkest sins in the hearts of men. Every rapper that rap ain't celebrity.
I'm high pace with a high rise.